Can you tell I'm buff?
I think we need more lighting.
Oh! So once again, by no means am I a pro at this, or I'm dabbling at the top. But once again, I'm telling y'all, learn a little bit to get by. As time goes on, you'll get better. But I highly recommend for barbers, especially young barbers, to understand how important uh, technology is as well in the world of barbering for sharing content, marketing yourself, and motivating others. So I'm gonna show you my desktop. I'm already recording it. So I have one folder on my desktop that has all my photos, all my work divided by months. And then, you can go into folders and you can see, I have different sessions as if I call them. So right now we're in the month of September, but I just uploaded my last work from the month of August. Last week was super busy. I did a lot of work. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take all these photos and I'm gonna transfer them to Photoshop. So, another thing, you don't have to have Photoshop or Lightroom or none of those apps. Those cost extra money. If you do get them, nice. They're a little bit of a complex programs to use. Lightroom is a little bit easier to get a grasp a hold of, but Photoshop is definitely a very intricate program. Maybe not very, but definitely above my level. So I've just used to dabble. I've just learned to dabble in the basics. The great news is, honestly, there's a lot of content on YouTube that you can check out that will help you. Watch a few tutorial videos, watch and do at the same time, and that's honestly that's how I learned. If you can take a class in college or university on Photoshop and all this stuff, I would highly recommend it. You don't have to be a professional photo taker, but just to understand the basics to where you can touch up the picture, bring out the fade. Why not? So right now, what I'm doing is I'm transferring all my photos, my latest photos from August, you see, 4, and I'm taking them all and I'm gonna transfer them to Lightroom. So first thing I do is I go into Lightroom and I kind of use some filters. And I don't use filters to kind of, added the fade or make it more blurry. I use the filters to bring it out more. You know what I'm saying? Make the picture a little bit lighter, a little bit darker, so you can see more the definition of the hair, so on and so forth. So you see, I've learned to take more than one photo. When you're taking pictures, don't just take 2 pictures and, oh, that's good. Because you'll find that later when you're looking over here, you're like, man, I should have took more pictures. This is a bad angle. And once again, this is all growing pains. So we're gonna add all 134 photos. So let that sink in. I took 134 photos of maybe 7 haircuts. Maybe more, I don't know. So here it is importing, and we wait because computer is super fast. And we wait. Yes, this is time consuming. Just like anything you want to do in life, if you want it to be good, you got to spend your time, put the effort in it. So I import them all in, and as you can see, they go all the way down, all the way down. These are all my cuts. And I go over and I just, I look at my work. I put it on auto because I'm not that good at balancing. It puts it on auto because you see, I want to especially see the texture. I want my texture to improve. I'm specifically paying attention to my fade. Where am I missing? Where do I need to pay attention? Another cool thing that I've noticed, the more I do this stuff, is if you zoom in, you see, you can see a very interesting thing that I never noticed as a barber earlier is the hair grows in different directions. And the more you pay attention to the hair growth, and if you go against that specific direction, the better, a lot better your fades become. You know, I think it's very important. So this is the most photoshopping you'll see me do in Lightroom. I'll go through all the photos. Of course, I'll pick out the ones that I like the best. The ones that I see things that I don't like, I will personally take note of. I will critique myself. I will say, okay, right here, this is too dark. I could have faded that out better. This is too dark. I need to work this area a little bit more. Okay, this right here could have been cleaned up a little bit better. And this is what I literally do with every photo. I sit here for about, 10 minutes. I look at it. I criticize myself. I say, okay, this area I've gotten better, but I still need a little bit of work. Okay, texture, I'm killing it. Okay, I like it. You see, like this is a photo that I can tell that I already like. Now, when I pick filters, I try to pick filters that do not blur out too much of the image. So I either like this one because it brings out full color, or I like the standard or the portrait. So I usually use portrait. Then I mess around with the light a little bit. You see this is too light. I'm gonna take it down to where I feel is just perfect. I don't want it too dark, but, and at this point, light, it becomes preference. Some people like it lighter, some people like it darker. I like it somewhere in the middle. So after this, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save this photo. And this is why you saw a bunch of folders. And I'm gonna change it. And now I'm gonna go to August. I've created an edited folder. Number 4, this is session 4 because this was week 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna go into folder 4 and I'm gonna save it in here. So all the photos from this session, I'm gonna save it in one place. I'm not gonna do them all for the sake of time. I'm just gonna do stuff that I want you to see. So after I'm done with Lightroom, with adjusting the light, the whole 9 yards, I go into Photoshop. In Photoshop, and then I open up the edited folder, folder 4. I see my picture and I drag it straight into Photoshop. Boom. Yep, it's taking it. I think it is. Where are you? Where are you? There we are. Okay. So, in this picture, what I did is I created my own signature. Y'all seen it. I have a logo that one of my clients created for me, Alex. I appreciate it a whole lot. And I've been using this logo ever since. So what I did was I went into Photoshop and that logo, I took it and I created a signature stamp. So every photo that I do, I stamp it with my logo because it kind of gives it that cool look. And I've seen it done on Instagram and it really makes it look professional. It makes it, when people look at it, the vibe is already set. That's why, I honestly highly encourage you to do that. Then I'll go in here and I'll zoom in on the face. I will zoom in a little close. And this is the only Photoshop that you will actually see me do it. Is I'll go in here, the little heel spot, and like for instance, if I see skin imperfections, like pimples or red stuff, I will blur it out. And this is just for the skin. This is the only Photoshop you'll see me do. Like for instance, if I put too much pressure, let's say on a razor blade, right? And there's a whole lot of redness. I'll try to kind of, smudge it a little so it's not as red, it's not as crazy looking. And then, and you will see it as crazy. Like I'll mess around here. I don't do people's birthmarks. I leave them because I don't want my client looking at a photo and be like, hey, where'd my birthmark go? So I just keep it as natural as possible. But for instance, if people have like, pimples or crazy scars, or I kind of blur it out a little. It looks nice. And then check this out. When you zoom out, when you zoom out, I'm gonna fit it on screen. Boom. It looks clean. It looks professional. And like in this picture, I wanted to show you texture, my shear work. And this picture right there captures it. So I'll save this picture as into my I will not set to post folder. I'll save it in 4 to post, hit save, maximum quality, and that's it. So after that's all said and done, I go into Google, and you can do it different ways. This is the fastest way I found. Instead of taking it off the computer, somehow trying to download it to my phone, all I do is I drop it into Google Box, and then on my phone I have Google Drive, and I download it from there, and boom, I have access to all my photos in high quality. And then I post them on Instagram and let people see, appreciate my growth, my work, and it's just me sharing with others what I do. Because honestly, like that's why I love Instagram, and I've said it before, is, you know, there's all these barbers in the community, and you can learn something from each and every person. And when you have skilled barbers, good barbers sharing their photos, and when you have barbers that are not so skilled sharing their photos, it creates like this interesting environment where you can see some barbers grow, and you see other barbers, you know, motivating those that are trying to grow to go up. So that's why I don't really have this, you know, your photos are not good enough, don't post them. That's how a lot of barbers feel. And to me, it was like, you know, are you trying to say you're the best, or you're just trying to share with people what you have? I try to share with people with what I have. I want people to see my growth. I want people to see my imperfections. I want people to understand that I'm just like everybody else. You know, I make mistakes here and there, and I came from there. Now I'm here, and I'm trying to go further. At the same time, I know that my work inspires other people. How do I know this? Because other people inspired me. It just works like that. So I take the time and effort. I take those pictures, I post them, I share them. But most importantly, I use this time as kind of like self-reflection, where I look at my work with no mercy, no mercy. And I just look at every microscopic detail, and I say, okay, next time we can make this better. Next time we can make this better. Next time we can make this better. And what I've noticed is it works almost better than other people critiquing you. Because when other people critique you, not everybody can take it. A lot of people get defensive, a lot of people get upset. But when you critique your own self, you should be able to do it ruthlessly. And that's one of the biggest tips that I wanted to leave with you guys. Because I'm looking on Instagram, I'm looking at other barbers, and that's one area I would say quite a few are lacking. And if you don't want to do it, that's fine as well. I'm not knocking down your hustle. Your hustle, do what you got to do. But I feel like this is huge element in my success. Ever since I listened to Jesus, got a better camera, my work literally went from here to here within months. Like, I remember the first photo I took with DSLR, like, you know, the photologist, I can cut. I took a photo, I brought it home, I looked at the photo and I was like, ugh, there's a hair sticking out right here. There's piece sticking out right here. How did I not catch this? How did I met? And literally for about next 3 weeks, every photo I took, I was just like blown away. Like, I could not believe I did not notice those details before. And the only reason is because you're in the zone, you got already a million things going on, and you don't really notice, pay attention to it. Nobody tells you. Clients half of the times are scared to tell you anything. So unless you make them comfortable. So you're kind of stuck in the zone where you're just giving out messed up haircuts. well, they might be okay, but they can always be better. So if you're reaching for that higher playing field, if you're reaching to make that, mark, I would highly recommend you stepping out into this unknown, uncomfortable zone and understand that, barbering is not only about cutting hair. And especially if you want to be successful, well known, you should dabble with technology a bit. Get a better camera, find ways to make some video content, and yeah. But once again, make sure another bad thing I noticed. Make sure you're actually improving. Yeah, because some out there are not really improving, staying in one place, but y'all make a whole lot of videos. No need for that. You gotta improve. You gotta improve. I hope I'm improving, because if I'm not, people will tell me. But anyways, that's my 2 cents. DSLR, must have. Computer, some programs on your phone, whatever, don't care. Edit it up a little, spice it up. It's like cooking. I just don't throw a slab of ribs on my kid's plate and say, eat it. Nah, I glaze them, I smoke them, I put a little bit of honey on it, some sriracha sauce, you know what I'm saying? Cut them up a little, put a little bit of vegetables next to it, and make it look so much better, so much tastier. You're serving almost exactly the same thing, but it looks much better. Same thing, barbers, with your photos, with the content you're providing. You can either just slap it on people and be like, here, digest it. Or you can spend a little bit of time, put a little bit touches on them, a little bit of sprinkles, make it look better. And then people will be like, wow. Clients will be like, man, I look good. So level up. Let's keep leveling up. And let me know what y'all think about this video. Once again, I don't claim to know everything, but this is what I've noticed. This is what I saw in the industry. This is what helped me. And I wanted to share it with you because I want you to be much better than me. Because when you're better, you will make me strive for the next level. Out.